Yeah, hello there. My name is Zakinthos, and welcome to my podcast. Haven't done one in a while. This was highly recommended by Dion. Yeah, so look, this is about the Crows and the year in review, but the season hasn't finished. Tomorrow we play the Sydney Swans at home. Uh, Luke Pedlar's been dropped. Now, I didn't see the Brisbane game because I watched the Matildas, the 3-1 loss to England, which was last Saturday at the same time as the Crows Brisbane. And I should have taped the Brisbane Crows game and watched that, but no, I just didn't. Anyway, look, even if the Crows don't make the 8, Graham Corn's on 5AA. They asked him at the start of the year, KG asked him, and Graham Corn said, we don't have the squad, we won't make the 8. Kane Corn's on Footy Classified Channel 9 based in Melbourne, and he's on SEN. He said to Footy Classified at the start of the year, he predicted 9th. And the first, 5 games, Dion and Harold have watched as many games as I've seen, and they've seen the games live. Kane Corn said it, 4 games we lost because of inaccurate kicking. The Collingwood game that we played away, where we lost by 2 points, 3 different parties have told me that the umpire is to blame. I'll say it's simple enough. The umpires may favour them in the away games, but I've seen the umpires favour us at home. It all balances out in the end. It's 27 games or whatever, 24, it ain't 3 or 4 games. Let's cut to the chase. Pedlar is a sub. You're kidding me. Anyway, again, I didn't watch the Brisbane game, so you're going to look for scapegoats. Lockie Scholl has been made a scapegoat. Ollie Humble Pie, Matt Crouch, and Scheinberg I did not rate, but when they came back 2 weeks ago, they were good. The way Scheinberg gathered the ball, it was like Darren Jarman. These guys that play in the SANFL and come out of the SANFL back to a high level at AFL do a good job because they're informed from the SANFL. The SANFL is a lower standard to the AFL, but they perform at SANFL level because we obviously have good coaches at the Crows reserves, and that hack, Fisher Mackesy, is gone. Thank God for that. And someone at the Crows hierarchy has to be held accountable for the Fisher Mackesy pick. There has to be a small inquest into that. But anyway, during the year, when we beat Carlton at home, that was unreal. We've done very well. I'm not a big fan of John Olsen as the chairman. If you've seen my previous video, you'll find it on the channel here. Yeah, it's got about 350 views, that video now. But look, for me, Matthew Nicks is very happy at the club. I am very curious if he has the final say in selection, in team selection. And people will say, Zakinthos, all the 18 AFL clubs, it's a selection committee. It's not just one coach. Yeah, well, when Malcolm Blight was here, he had the final say. Make no mistake. What else? What other games were there? There was the Fremantle game at home on the Saturday. That was good. Matthew Nicks has done a good job. He has a good system. I thought when he came from Sydney, it'll be a defensive system. No, far from it. Our Achilles heel, I will say, and I'll say it again till I'm blue in the face. If you draw a line down the middle, it's not the attack, it's the defense. We concede a lot of goals, partly because we attack, so you get caught out at the back. As of this recording, like Tim Ginniver said, Matthew Nicks said it, this is a prelim final, this is an elimination final. The game against Sydney Swans tomorrow night, 7 o'clock live on Channel 7 as well, is an elimination final. And the Crows hierarchy believe will beat West Coast the week after as well. But, You can't be sure. So that's because they're always mathematically in it. So that's 4 points plus 4 points. That's 8 points. They have to win tomorrow night. Destiny may be in their own hands come next week. I always had this funny feeling it'll come down to the West Coast game next week. Let's go through the players this year. Rory Sloane, I'm sorry, you are a good player, but you got to retire. I'm sorry. And this thing where Matthew Nicks wants him to play Nick. Walker Tex Ranger, mate, he's almost, how many goals is he behind in the Coleman? 3, 4, 5, 6, 5 goals? Yes, extend his goal. For me, Sloane. And why don't you Crows hierarchy play Tariq Newchurch? That's it. Put Newchurch in there. Try him out. No. You ain't going to get a midfielder. Bickley wants a midfielder. All of 5AA, the commentating crew want, we need a midfielder. Yeah, no one's going to come. 30%. The young players will come to the Crows, not the seasoned players, the veterans that are 25, 26 years old, that have got 100 games under the belt. Those are the 20 games that have been ditched by 2 previous AFL clubs. They'll come to the Crows. Yeah, sure. 18, 19, 21 years old. They'll come with a girlfriend. I'm in Adelaide. Yeah, I'm happy to be in Adelaide. Yeah, I'm a half-back flanker. Another half-forward flanker. See, the Crows have now bitten the bullet with regards to, what's his name? Isaac Rankin. Yeah, we'll play him. Of course you will. He cost $875,000 a year. I'd fucking pick him as well, man. Anyway, he's delivered. Let's just say we got our money's worth. We were always going to get our money's worth with him. That's not the issue. But for me, the players, Jordan Butts, sorry, he's dropped form. The other one that held us to ransom, that defender that wants to go to Geelong, they've got him on 5AA. Dode. Mate, you're greedy, mate. You should have signed when you had the chance. You know, you got your smile on your face. Oh yeah, we've done good. He's fantastic. He's great. Mate, get out. Just get out. If you don't want to stay at the club, get out. I'll play. You wanted to go to Geelong. I don't want to go to Geelong. I'd play for Adelaide. I'm South Australian. Maybe you're not, but I'm South Australian. I'll fucking play. Anyway, so that's the thing. Brodie Smith as well. I don't know what they've done with Ned McHenry. 5AA have given him a fishing show. The 5AA fishing show. And you wonder why their form has dropped. Oh, pick the fish. Ooh, it's a salmon. It's a bream. Woo! Mate, are you kidding me, man? So, it's just, I don't know. What other players? I mean, Lockie Scholl, they've dumped him. Josh Rochelle, they've made him a scapegoat last week. Look, I can understand we're outside. Some players are going to be dropped. You have to earn your spot. But I reckon there's 1 or 2 players that are never dropped. You know, Sloane, no offense, he should have been dropped to the SNFL during the year. He would have picked up form. They gave him enough. Is he not on $1 million a year? Yeah, that's right. He held the club to ransom years ago. 6 months, mate. And then this $20,000 a week to do what? The guy's very loyal, and it's not the issue. But for me, nah, man. Come on, man. Did the Crows hierarchy ask the supporters if we want him, man? What, a 33-year-old? Come on, man. Invest in the future, man. I don't want to. Tex Walker's different. Gilbert McAdam, I think that's his name. Shane McAdam. I'm glad he's back in. Dode is fail for me. What he's done, not signing the contract, and he doesn't have a contract, is fail. Just go to Geelong. Butts has dropped form. Ever since Hardigan left, Butts has dropped form. When Hardigan, I don't know where Hardigan is now, if he's even at Hawthorn. The Nick Murray's the one that's hurt us. I agree with Harold. Nick Murray has come good this year. That hurt us once he got injured. And so touch wood, I mean, this sport, this AFL has got injuries galore in it, so I don't want to... every year it's just the same number of injuries. So, what are the players? I mean, Fogarty's come good. He's not the same as Walker, I understand, but they still have a chance. But I've always been tempted to call 5 Double Graham. Okay, he's Akinthos, how are you? I'm good. I believe Matthew Nicks doesn't have the final say in team selection. And he'll say, how do you know that? It's like this. His hands are tied. So what happens Thursday night selection committee, he'll say, I want to pick A, B, and C. And Matt Clark, who's still there, will say, no, I don't want B and C. And then Matthew Nicks his attention is diverted elsewhere, like, oh. It's called Inception, like the movie Inception with DiCaprio. They put an idea in Nicks's head. Nicks thinks, yeah, you're right. I won't pick players B and C because the other guy on the selection committee said so. Imagine you're at a table like this table here. You're surrounded by 7 people Thursday night. He has to get approval, if I'm not mistaken, from the other 7 people on the selection committee. And this is that's right. Guess who's on the selection committee? The captain. But who's it's Jordan Dawson. Fair enough, he's a top player. For a minute, because I remember Sloan was captain or Walker said, no, I don't want them on the selection committee. Anyway, I trust Dawson's judgment. But, I mean, let's assume, for argument's sake, hypothetically, that Matthew Nicks has the final say in team selection. Therefore, he will get the blame when you win and you lose. And a few calls came during the year. Call a spade for the people that used to call through. Nicks has to go. He's only one to. They don't have a plan B. They don't change it. And this is the problem. I'll be cheering for Matthew Nicks, like Harold and Dion and everyone else. But if we don't make the 8 this year, I can tell you now, we will not make the 8 next year. And it doesn't matter who we get. Unless we get one of these midfielders from Collingwood, maybe a Steele side bottom. Yeah, Bog, he's going to come here. Yeah, Butses, mate. If you can get a player like that, yes. And, what else? Hello, Zorica. And, yeah, so, I mean, it's just, there's McInally at the back. They've got good defenders, the Crows are coming through. They've got good players that are coming through, but the criticism of Ben Key is that he can't kick. So there was a game where he's running down the wing, had he kicked it to the person. This is nothing new. All right, Brisbane got rid of him, my cap, because he can't. Fair enough. Brisbane are above us on the ladder, and they're in the finals. Fair enough. Ben Key has attributes. There are other midfielders that don't. The Ned McHenry, for me, what they've done to him this year is epic fail. This guy last year, I don't know when it was, he destroyed Carlton single-handedly. And what happens is, you didn't, okay, yes, you played well then, but in this particular game, you did poorly. Back to the SNFL you go. Yeah, that rule doesn't apply to other people, though. They'll say, Zakithos, yeah, we treat all 18 the same. We will punish all 18. No, you won't. You haven't done it to Sloan. You've given Sloan a contract. If he was 27, 28, yes, give him, not now, another year. And Sloan was interviewed. Look, I've got nothing against the guy, but you're on a big contract. I'm sorry, your eye got poked out. It's nothing to laugh at. But, I mean, your days are done, man. Unless you play as a tagger. And I don't care if I get criticism for Cop. He should not be. Someone else should be in now, man. Walker, you can't drop. Doesn't matter if he's 35 or 36 years old because he keeps scoring goals. But if we don't make the 8, sorry, they should have. The thing with Sloane, it's another spot taken where there could be a new church that comes in. Oh, Zakynthos, we don't know. We'll never know if new church is good. He'll never get a game. If we don't make the 8 this year, I guarantee you we will not make the 8 next year. No, doesn't matter who they get. It doesn't matter who they get in defence. It doesn't matter who they draft in attack. Unless they get a player, an ex-midfielder from Melbourne or Collingwood. Geelong, they're too old. But the ones from Melbourne or Collingwood, maybe a Brisbane midfielder. But there's a few at Collingwood. They can't all be happy at Collingwood. The Dacos brothers, forget it. You don't see them. But the rest, why not try to get a Steele side bottom? I've always wanted him. But no, we must have Sloane. Rory Sloane. That irked me. Ask the supporters, man, who you should sign. We're the ones that have to press the button to turn on the TV, to sit there for 2 hours like this. Ooh, it's a goal, yeah. Oh, goal, point, goal. It's fucking shit. It's bullshit. And Sydney, what do I hear? They've won 5 in a row. Take a wild guess then what the score will be. At 3/4 time, the points difference will be less than 10 points. Remember, I hope to God I'm wrong. But do you really think the Crows will be up by 30 or 40 points at 3/4 time? Because if we're not, this always, and this, now my brain has woken up. We got a fitness coach. The Crows have been obsessed since the dawn of time for fitness, endurance, team trials, 100 meters. They all have to be skin folds. The Crows have got the best skin folds in the AFL. But what happens is when you focus on fitness, guess what is left in the lurch? Kicking, goal kicking. What's that? We can do both. Bullshit. Bullshit, you could do both. They can't. They focused they got Darren Burgess fitness. We played a game, was it Greater Western Sydney Saturday night? We died in the arse of fitness. Get rid of him now. Get a skills coach. Teach them how to kick. And we're not just talking kicking at goal. We're talking delivery, low trajectory kicks from the middle to the forward 50. Not blind kicks from the wing. That's all you get, blind kicks from the wing. We'll see tomorrow night, Saturday night. I have to sit there, watch it. Like that. When I could watch something on Paramount. Hopefully the A-League starts. Watch my beloved Adelaide United. Another mess there. Anyway, it's another podcast. The epic fail for me, and if the Crows don't make the 8 next year either, what is the story with Darren Burgess? For the love of God, keep Rory Sloane, fair enough, he's your idol. He's our idol. But the Darren Burgess thing for me is epic fail. Because what happens, Ben Keys has not improved, and Zakynthos, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Well, mate, I'm sorry. That they brought in Matt Crouch and think, even if we make the finals, man, they're not the problem. Why on earth? And Neil Craig had the same thing. Oh, the kicking will take care of itself. Yeah, well, it didn't, man. So, I don't know. And this is the other thing I don't like. Another topic. I go for a jog down the street, down Days Road, and I see her. And doesn't even say hello, doesn't even smile. There's some kind of deposit that I jog. You care. Some people don't. It's like you're invisible. You're running, and they don't even look at you. Some say hello, some don't. They see it as a joke. And are these particular females going to watch the Crows games? Did they watch the Matildas? No. Anyway, I don't want to rubbish particular people. They know who they are. They don't live far from here. I pity them. They are remorseful. They are oblivious to anything that enters their world. And I just... But for me, back to the topic, the Crows. And KG said it at the start of the year. I don't know, his tune has changed because I listen to the Saturday Sports Show a bit. I don't expect them to talk about soccer. That's not the issue. I mean, when Adelaide United starts in October, look, I'll just watch that on Paramount, so be it. But KG says, I want to make the 8, if not this. Corn said it. He's just too sick. We don't have the squad. Well, Stephen Rowe said the list management is a joke. And he can say these things on 5AA because the commercial agreement between 5AA and the Adelaide Crows Football Club is dissolved, finished, finito. It's gone. And so he can say what he wishes. 5AA bosses aren't going to, because what's he going to do? Toe the party line. They're superb, the Crows. There's a problem with the list management. That's another story. That will never change. And I'll go by the previous video. We never did a proper clean-up. There were 3 scapegoats. Don Pike was scapegoat number 1. And the club had the audacity to tell us that he only got paid out $300,000 severance package. Bullshit. He was on a lot of money, $600-700. He was paid out fully. Don't insult us. It's disgusting. The other one was Scott Camporelli, scapegoat, and Brett Burden. They blamed Brett Burden for the camp. Anyway, to go down the topic about the camp, people were probably watching this thinking, this guy's not a Crows supporter. Motherfucker, I've watched so many Crows games, you have no idea, either on the radio, on KO, on VIP box. Mate, I've seen them all. But the common denominator, the fitness coach has not worked, maybe for a couple, and the defense. The defense gets caught out big time. The Warrell, McKinley, they're good. But for me, if you pick butts, it's epic fail. He has cost us. Punches the ball in these games, completely misses. It's like a goalkeeper going to grab the ball and you just, no. Just stop. Think about what you're doing, Crows coaching staff. When it's too late now, let them have a break and not this bullshit in December. Just let Christmas, New Year's pass, and come January the 2nd or 3rd, because I'm very superstitious, just let the year end. Let 2023 end. Come January 2024, bring Dion and Harold, the 3 of us, we will show you goal kicking. The way Eddie Maguire does that drop punt, I learned it. And get Darren Jarman. Who's that? No, you haven't heard of him? He won 2 flags. He can kick goals. You only have to ask Hawthorn how good this guy was. You only have to ask Dunstall how good. He can deliver a ball and he can teach them. They need someone like Darren Jarman who knows, and not this bullshit. It's just that he can't teach. It's just fucking bullshit. The fitness is not the issue. Stop with the fitness. Yes, make them do that. That's it. Goal kicking. Kick to each other back and forth in pre-season. Get them one pile of players, one row of players, a column of players at halfback, one column of players at half forward, and do this drill where they're kicking 40-meter passes to each other, and then they run around. Just do that. That's it. The kick. Not even handball. Handball is easy to do. I can handball like this to someone. Kicking is hard, especially under pressure. And the Crows they turn it over. They're not the only club to turn it over, but they turn it over. I've had a gutful of this fitness coach. I've had a gutful of the way the club has gone in the wrong direction with regards to the list management. They will never touch. That there is set in stone, mark my words. And I'm glad Stephen Rowe said it's a joke. It's a fucking joke. Sorry for my language, mate, but it's insane. It's incorrigible. It's disgusting. The camp, who are to blame for the camp? They said Caroline Wilson and Sam McClure were to blame from Footy Classified. And what do you hear from all the Crows women? Ooh, Caroline's bad, and Sam McClure always rubbishes the Crows. No, motherfuckers, they report it as they see it. So, that's it. There's not much more to say, really. I mean, to assess the other players, Shane McAdam, he's back in the team now. He's good. The Ned McHenry, the club have to ask themselves at the end of the year, and this, people might be watching this video and say, well, he's just nothing. The club have fucked him up big time. This guy was a player and a half there. He was as good as Saliga. He looked like Saliga, and he was as good as Saliga. And even Saliga, they dropped him for one game. And this thing, the sub. Anyway, the sub rule is a joke anyway, but Rory Sloane was a sub, and now they're going to make Pedler. Pedler's a sub. It's all different scapegoats. I mean, I don't know, man. It's just unbelievable. And then they wonder why I play Football Manager. Beside the point. And this is the other thing now. What happens if the Crows don't make the 8 next year? I'm not going to complain. I'm happy. I'm happy with Matthew Nicks because I don't hold him responsible for the club picking a fitness coach. I don't hold Matthew Nicks responsible for the goal kicking or the skills. That's been entrenched at the club before he came. You, John Olsen, that's a chairman, you should have come in, but you see, you don't know because you don't have a football background. You have a political background. If we got someone like a Lee Matthews, like I said in the previous video, that has a football background, when you get a chairman or a board member, or he has to play minimum 100 SNFL games. If I'm at a soccer club, say Burkalla, Blue Eagles, White City, Woodville, Beergrad, whatever, I want soccer people there. You have maybe one business person, one lawyer, the rest soccer. You must have played. You cannot have a chairman. The other chairman was a leader of industry, what Corns, banker. He was a banker. And how did that go? That went to scutter. Lee Matthews, I've always said it. I know he's a director at Brisbane. Get him out of there. Bring him here as a chairman. And this is the other thing. Matthew Nicks, they will flick him. If they don't make the 8 next year, see, the contract expires at the end of the year, next year. If they don't make the 8 this year, they don't make the 8 next year, I fear for him. And you know what Adelaide Crows do? They don't cast the net. You know how you cast the net in fishing? And interview 11 coaches? They target one coach and they leak it in the media 6 months earlier. They said, I quote, they said, we don't want someone older than 38 years old. So that counts me out. That counts Harold out. It doesn't count Dion out. And I'd rather have Dion coaching than the next one. Because the next coach, they'll get another young... What, Scott Burns will be the caretaker coach? Is that what we're going to do? Is there a rhythm here? Is it deja vu again? The Crows always do this, the club. And John Olsen, you have the power to stop this. If I'm saying if, you are looking for a different coach and you let Matthew Nicks's contract run out, cast the net properly, interview 5 or 6 coaches, minimum. 6 coaches, not target one coach that's an assistant at the Gold Coast or Greater Western Sydney. That's what the Crows will do. They're going to grab one of the assistants from there or there. It won't be a seasoned veteran. They don't want Ross Lyon because he was too old. The last thing, St Kilda in the 8. No, we don't want him. He's too old. And he's not the only one. They must be 38. Below 38, they don't want. The Crows will deny this, but it's true. I've seen it year upon year, and it's the same bullshit. And the club should have done a proper clean out the way Port Adelaide did a fucking proper clean out years ago when Primus got the sack. Once Primus got the sack, they brought Kosh in and they did a proper clean out Port Adelaide. And look now. And you got Port Power people, oh no, we don't want Hinkley. Who do you want? What, you think you're going to win the flag? So if you get a different coach, you get a... If you're winning games and the players are happy with him, don't get rid of him. The Crows will be lucky to ever make the 8. That's not a reflection, a bad reflection on Matthew Nicks. He's a young coach. But the next coach the Crows get, they have to do that. Man, it's fucking aircon's haunted. That's the thing. People like Zorik, I don't think they watch this podcast or whoever. So, I mean, that's how it is, man. Adelaide Crows Football Club, I implore you, do your job properly. Interview 6 coaches minimum. They're going to do it, I'm telling you now. They will earmark from the eastern states or the Gold Coast or Greater Western Sydney, one of the assistant coaches that's been an assistant for 10 years. He's young, bright, new ideas, a clone of Matthew Nicks. And it will be like that. Every 4 years a coach. And you Zakynthos will sit there and watch it, put your feet up like this, and probably fall asleep. But I'm done. Thanks everyone for watching, and hopefully you enjoyed the video. Bye-bye.